Hi guys, welcome back to Path of Enlightenment Tarot. For those of you who are new, welcome to the channel. For those of you returning, hola again. For those of you who don't know me, I am Nicole. So Leo, I started your reading earlier today, got it done, had technical issues, so we're doing this over. Curious to see how it comes out, if it's pretty much the same message as earlier today, so I had to use a little bit of a different setup here. Technology and me are not the best of friends, as always. So Leo, this is going to be for March of 2023. Remember though, it's timeless, so this is my intent. Doesn't mean that it's going to stick to that. Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, cross watchers, if that's you, pay attention as well. Discern the messages accordingly. And if the video is a little grainy, guys, I apologize. I'd be using the other technology, but it's dead right now, so it's charging. But I want to get some of these March readings out to you all. All right, Leo, let's see. Leo for March. What does Leo need to know? Hope you guys are doing good. You guys, if you're interested in a personal reading too, step outside your comfort zone right off the bat. If you're interested in a personal reading, check out the description box below as well as the about section of the page. You can find my email there and how to get a hold of me. All right, Leo. I feel like since earlier today, this is earlier this morning I did this, and it's pretty late in the evening, so I don't know what's maybe shifted for some of you. I feel like maybe whatever was bothering you has relaxed a little bit, but I still feel like you're working within the confines of yourself at this time. But that fulfillment card, this card was out earlier. It was in the underlying. That to me, and then invisible. I feel like in that other video, I talked about your truth. Speaking your truth, opening up to your truth. I feel like you don't want to be seen right now. Like you don't want to be felt, you don't want to be heard, you don't want to be, it's just kind of like you've boxed yourself in. I feel like you're avoiding something though. But this fulfillment, I like that these cards have shifted since this morning, which tells me maybe today alone, right? Like you don't know. Things may have opened up or taken a slightly different direction. But I feel like you're seeing the magic in things around you. You've got, that's a 3, 4, and a 2. So let's see, Leo, what's happening. Don't box yourself in, guys. Don't box yourselves into something that you feel like you have to do it a certain way, see it a certain way, be in a certain way. Yeah, 5 of Wands, that inner conflict. 5 of Swords on the bottom. I don't know what made me look there, but I did. But yeah, this is, I feel like you're playing with your own head right now, like mind games with your own head at this time. I feel like it might be, it almost feels like it's spinning to me. It's turning, it's like you're trying to do this juggling act. You may just feel overwhelmed right now and you're letting it get to you. 9 of Wands. A lot, you know, it takes a lot of courage, a lot of strength to get to where you've gotten to thus far. So don't discount what you've done, but you got to stay out of your head if you want things to continue forward. And I just said you're better off than you think. There's the King of Pentacles. I'm going to leave that lay on the side. The 8 of Swords came out also. This is all mental process. And this was out too in your prior reading that I did that we didn't get to post. I had issues with that, so I couldn't get it to transfer over. Very much about how you're trying to hang on to a balance of all these various things, and you're forgetting who it is that you are. King of Pentacles, you're stable, you're grounded, you're put together, but you're not seeing yourself that way right now. So I just feel like, again, that you're there's that damn 5 of Swords again, 3 of Wands. I really do feel like you are at a space right now where you're allowing yourself to be entrapped by your own feelings, your own thoughts. You're overdoing. It's like your body is working, right? If you're working, doing things, it's not tired. You're mentally tired. Your soul might feel tired right now. I feel like you're kind of hiding away, keeping a distance from something that feels good for you. And if you are, why aren't you engaging with the things that make you feel good? 6 of Pentacles right there with that beauty card. Something is glowing. You see a glow and a growth within something. Son of Pentacles, slow moving energy in the Tower. Do you feel like you've lost? I feel like you've lost something. You may be seeing somebody else going through something right now as well. Daughter of Swords, that Page of Swords is messengers, communication. You may be feeling as if where there might have been some balance in a situation, maybe it's a little off right now. Things slowed down, took a turn. I'm going to call it a turn for the worst, whatever. Let me say something here. Whatever the situation is for you guys, and it's going to be different for all of you. And there's the Lovers. This is definitely choice, romance, truth, clarity, healing. You may have had to take a time out to pause and reflect upon a situation. I'm going to tell you that I don't feel like this Tower moment is, I don't think it's as catastrophic as you think that it might be. I'll also say this, that you are going to encounter disagreements, arguments, different perspectives from everybody that you come across. You're not always going to agree on something in particular, and I feel like that's really all this is. It's kind of like, how could something so beautiful be so difficult, or how could something so beautiful be so dull and dark sometimes? And I think you're trying to understand and navigate how that comes in, okay? And it's kind of like you may feel as if there's some butting of heads in a situation right now. I do believe that it will balance itself out if you allow it. You have to make that free will choice to allow it to balance out. And I don't think that it's a bad thing because you end up with fulfillment at the end of this. So let's clarify fulfillment. Whatever this is, Spirit is saying is sweet to you. It's very sweet to you. There's that Daughter of Swords or the Page of Swords again, that communication. Ace of Pentacles. Spirit is saying that you feel like all was lost, though. But if you're not putting the work and the effort into it, how do you know that it's lost? This is mental perception. This is what this is, Leo. This is mental perception. Mother of Cups, you could be dealing with a Scorpio also, or a Taurus, Capricorn energy also. Or we'll see. I don't know. I feel like you might be dealing, well, Taurus, that's, even though you're not a Taurus, obviously, I feel like that's you sitting there. This Mother of Cups, I tend to see that as Scorpio or Cancer, primarily Scorpio. But, you know, I feel like both parties in this situation, they're both protecting their heart space. They're both protecting themselves. Nobody's making a move to start anew. And that's a problem. You have to have that communication. I said Scorpio on the bottom. Death card, Scorpio energy again. Something's trying to transform. Something's trying to change. And if I remember correctly, Leo, in the other reading that I did, that was a part of it, was you have to let it take form for itself to do what it needs to do for you, like I always say. That Nine of Swords and that Seven of Wands, I seen that earlier again. Defending your choices, defending your boundaries, defending your space, but to me, it doesn't feel good to you. It doesn't, even though you're doing it, it doesn't feel good. So, and again, this is kind of repetitive to what came out earlier today. I'm going to, let me see. Whoops. All right, Leo. Let's see. Woo. They're throwing me out all the cards. All of them. All right, what is this? Obedience about balance. You need to balance your emotions, as I was saying earlier. This is about the internal you. This is about the mental thought process. You've got to get that heart and that head into alignment. Again, a dragonfly. Dragonflies are also about transformation and renewal as well. Things changing, but you're going to have to find balance between the heart and the head. I do feel like the heart is calling to asking for some openness, but the head is like, we can't do this. I'm not too surprised to see you guys in that headspace right now. Just from experience, you know. All right, this beauty. Let me see what this preservation and unity. I'm telling you that on that card of beauty, unity and preservation. You're distancing yourself. Like there's this back and forth pulling energy that I'm picking up on. That's like to bring it together, to leave it alone. To bring it together, to leave it alone. Pay attention to how you emotionally feel. If your head's going into the logical space of, oh no, can't do this, and this is the way I've always done this. But the heart is saying, hey, like, this feels good to you, this lights you up, why are you not engaging in that? So I feel like there's that magnetism card at the bottom. Rediscovering, something's coming back around. And I feel like you're going to be surprised by the communication that comes in. I feel like you're expecting friction. Drop the judgment at the door. And that word came out too. I do remember that. Drop the judgment at the door. You have to go into this communication of where I feel like your negative thoughts are in play, going, past experience tells me this is going to be a fucked up shit show. It's not going to be. It's only going to be if you engage in that type of context, if you engage in that kind of thought pattern, if you engage, you know, you think it, you're going to think it into existence. You're going to bring it into existence by your thoughts and your feelings. So if you want it to up level for you, then you have to allow it to up level. If you're going to sit and see it in a negative stance, then you're going to end up with negative bullshit. Leo, it's always going to be about your choice at the end of the day. I mean, what is destined for us is there. You might take a detour in the process, but, you know, you're going to be pulled to it one way or another. Do not walk away from something that is going to be very valuable to you. Like, do not play head games. Do not play cat and mouse. Speaking of cats. Oh, let's see. When I did your reading earlier today, I started like with the sniffles, and here we go again. Angel of Love. She came out in the present energy last time. This time she comes out in the future energy. Temple Path. Same cards though. A lot of the same cards. You're being called to, like, open yourself up spiritually, to open yourself up to new horizons, to open yourself up to things that feel good, because I feel like in the past you have dealt with so much hurt, so much heartbreak, so much disappointment that you don't see how things can work out to the better benefit of you, because you're expecting the same old patterns, the same old routines, the same old shit. Your heart is ready. Your head is like, oh, hold on a minute, we can't do this, we can't make that move. So let's see. 9, 9, and a 4. I feel like you're dealing with two very, you yourself as one, and then the other person too being very independent in how they do things. Both coming from a place of heartbreak, some pain, past disappointments. But it's funny because even though, it's very interesting to me, even though there's this pain, this heartbreak, this disappointment from the past that lives on, right? There's a gap. And I swear to God, like, this is what came out earlier today too. There was something about a space. There's a space in this walking away. There's a space within the broken heart that's asking to be healed. The walking away, there's that space in the gate. It's like, are you going to come? Are you going to come with me? Because I'm leaving the gate open just enough for you to come. This broken heart has an empty void space. It's asking for love. And then you end up with the Angel of Love, compassion. So this walking away, let's see, what is this walking away? I was not sniffling one iota until now. Goodness. Spirit just said care for each other too. I dropped this, hang on a second. Spirit saying care for each other. 4 of Wands. All right, let's see. 4 of Wands. Those are your foundations. It's celebratory, right? Like, do you want it to be celebratory? It's going to be, ooh. 8 of Cups, though. Walking, you know, do I walk away from this? Do I not walk away from this? I'm walking away from this. I'm emotionally checking out on this. There's that damn tower again. Let's see. Ace of Pentacles. It was up there in the reverse. It's down here in the upright. Repetitive cards. The Lovers again. That was on the bottom before when I was clarifying the top there. 5 of Swords again. 9 of Swords again. Leo, what in the hell? It's almost like you can't imagine, you can't fathom how this could be positive for you. How this could bring you in some type of abundance. Like, it's, again, that mess between the heart and the headspace of how is this going to benefit me? How is this going to work? You wanting to walk away from it, not wanting to walk away from it, seeing it as something that could be glorious and beautiful, and at the same time, you see the potential, you see the opportunity, but it's like you're very much on the fence. You're very stuck going back and forth as to how you're going to do this, that Two of Pentacles energy, right? How is this going to work? Why are you trying to figure it out? You know, one of the things I was always taught is you don't ask the who, where's, when's, why's, what's, how's. It doesn't matter. You surrender. You surrender to allowing things to take place. You allow things to just take shape. You allow the divine to let you be in flow, and you are in flow with spirit, the divine, the universe, God, whatever you put your faith into, and trust it, right? Faith is beyond our physical 3D. It's beyond what we can see. It's beyond the reality of what we think can happen, because they've got a divine plan. So are you trusting and putting faith in that divine plan, and stop with the analytical mind, the logical mind that says, well, how is this ever going to work? How is this ever going to solve itself? Maybe it's just not for you to know. Sometimes we're not supposed to know, right? Like, it's not always our business, even though we think it's our business. All right, this broken heart for the current energy, please, Spirit. Broken heart for the current energy. I'll take it. 6 of Cups. This is healing. This is a healing connection. It may not make sense to you. It may not make sense to you. There's that 2 of Swords. Well, how could it? I don't see it. I don't know which way to go. I don't know what to do. Because I think you're being asked to do some healing in a way that I don't think you've ever, you may never have even touched upon such an elaborate form of healing is what I'm going to call it. So what if you carry scars from the past? I feel like you're judging yourself, and I'm pretty sure that came out before too. Very much judging yourself. We got the 9 of Pentacles with the 10 of Swords in reverse. You're not letting something close. You're not letting something resolve from the past. Where are you in your emotions? I think that's so important. And the reading that I did today too ended up being like 41 minutes long. I don't think this one's going to be that long. We'll call this a dummied down version, but straight to the point, that you're not letting the past be the past. You're trying to move forward into a new space and time with all of this shit from before, but you're not the same person that you were back here. You're not, you don't play by the same rules as you once did. You're in a very different space now. You have created fruits of your labor that are there to bless you and guide you. Like, you're going to start to reap the rewards of the work that you've put in, but right now you're standing in your own way. You're standing in a space that is stopping you from feeling that, from experiencing those things at this present time. Not sure how you're going to see it, how you're going to get through it, how this could be healing, how this could be the old faithful. It's like old faithful, old reliable. Like, how could this ever potentially have that? It's not meant for you to see right now. You're supposed to be enjoying what you've worked towards, and instead you're going, I don't know. I don't know how I'm supposed to do this. You feel your way through it. Does it feel right? Does it feel good? Does it feel like a connection? Because if it does, if it doesn't bring you strife and headaches, now I'm not saying that you're not going to have obstacles, because obstacles happen to all of us. That's how we learn. It's how we grow. It's how we move forward. But at the end of the day, that it feels good to you, you look for it, you long for it from a healthy, non-dependent place, why aren't you engaging with it? Very, very important message right there from Spirit. All right, this Angel of Love. Page of Pentacles. The 8 of Swords. Jesus, crime and Nitley. Pardon, not using the Lord's name in vain, but gosh. But I will say this, and this is why I love using different decks, because I get different things from each of them, even though they're all the same, but yet they're different, right? It's like our experiences. We all have the same emotions one way or another, but they're all under different circumstances of how we got there. Tarot cards to me are very much the same. They're all very different, but yet they still are the same, but they can mean different things to different people. This 8 of Swords in reverse, though, is like where you've hung on all of a sudden, it's like you might be starting to see the light a little bit, you know, of what it is to give love, to receive love, to be open and receptive to something that is compassionate towards you, or you being compassionate towards that person or that situation. It's finally stopping and look, you know, it's like when we're, I think about our body language where we are looking down all the time. We're just stressed out, head down. We don't see anything else around us because we're just, you know, face down in whatever the shit is that we're dealing with at the time. With this Eight of Swords in reverse, she's looking upright. She's starting to see the world around her. She's starting to get some clarity because she's not tucked into that blindfold. I like the way that feels for you because it's like all of a sudden you're starting to step outside of your sorrow. That Page of Cups, thinking on a positive note to me is how this one comes across. It's like you're becoming inquisitive. You want to learn how you can bring together. So I feel like you're starting to explore victory and success. The Death card. Again, you may be dealing with a Scorpio. You may have Scorpio in your chart. That's the third time Scorpio came up. Everything else is minors. They're all minor arcanas. Scorpio is very predominant in this reading. The Wheel. Scorpio, Taurus. My brain just went blank. Aquarius. Leo. There you are. Duh. The Hermit. You may be dealing with Pisces. Or Virgo. I'm sorry. Virgo. King of Cups. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces also. So maybe dealing with a water sign. You may have water in your chart. But this idea, it's like all of a sudden you're kind of snapping out of it. It's starting to feel, allowing yourself to feel again. And I think it's beautiful because you're transforming it. Three of Wands, you took a pause. You were pausing and reflecting upon what was out there, what the options were, what you were going to do. That Wheel, positive turn, a positive change is occurring. Let the light in. That's that Death card on the Light Seer's deck. It's like letting the light in, right? Six of Wands. Whatever this is that you have felt out at all, whatever this is that has sparked your interest, piqued your interest, wherever there might have been some friction or confusion, stay out of your head. Because when you're out of your head, you're not overthinking it. You're gaining clarity. You're gaining insight. You're gaining wisdom. In this Temple path, to me, it's very much a divine connection. Very much a divine connection. Because it's healing. It's healing toxic shit from the past. But you gotta, I don't feel like your roots before were stable. I don't know why I want to put these two together this way, but it adds up and breaks down to a 6. 6 of Cups energy again is how that feels to me. That 3, it's learning to work with other people. 5 of Wands. God damn it, put your defenses down. Queen of Swords. I feel like there's a fear of leveling up for you, Leo. There's a fear of history repeating itself, but I'm going to tell you this much. If you continue to live in that mental thought process, yeah, sure, if you want history to repeat itself, that's up to you, Knight of Cups. You cannot come into anything in a loving manner, carrying baggage, and being arrogant about it, and expect good things to come. Like, I feel like you're kind of in a space where you thought you knew it all, but internally, like, you know, when we go through awakening, we hit a certain level sometimes where we think that we've learned all the lessons. We are never done healing. We are never done learning. We are never, ever, 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 ever done. You might get through a layer of it, and I've always equated it to what I was taught, the onion. You peel back a layer of an onion, what do you get? Another layer of the onion, and you keep going, and you keep going until you keep going, till you get to the dead center. And that dead center of that onion is you, okay? So where you may have thought that you had learned everything there was to know, and you were just going to coast through life from that point forward, you're recognizing that it's like a break. You caught yourself a break. You know, you put wind in the sails, you you know, went on for so long in the smooth sailing energy, and then it's like all of a sudden, kaboom. Maybe something came in that you weren't expecting. Maybe something happened that changed the trajectory of where you were headed, or where you thought, where your expectation was tied to of how this was going to be. The universe comes in and says, oh no, here you go. We're going to do this a little differently. I'm going to teach you something new. And it's like, but I already learned. I already mastered. I already figured it. No, you didn't. No, but you're coming in. Knight of Cups. He's charming. He's charismatic. He's trying. But now you got to put in the work again. You're relearning another way from the way that you knew. Or you're relearning, or just learning in general. It doesn't have to be relearning, but learning a new way of life that is different from what you've experienced. The universe is coming in and trying to show you something that wants to work with you, but you have to be willing to work with it. And it's just like straight to the headspace of, well, I've never done this before, so I don't know what's going to happen. So I'm not going to step outside of fear and just take it on and see where it takes me. Drop the defenses. Stop fighting, because this fight is more internal than it is external. It isn't like you're really bickering with somebody. I feel like you may have had a disagreement. You may not have seen things the same way. And that was just enough to trigger you to go, wait a minute. I'm going to protect myself. I'm going to bury myself in my thoughts. I'm going to overthink it, overanalyze it, not realizing that you're both reflecting shit back and forth to one another. You're both going through the same thing, whatever this situation is. Different ways, different experiences. But right now, whatever this situation, relationship, whatever it is asking you to take inspired action towards something that's coming along. Four of Pentacles. Holding back. You need a new perspective. Seven of Pentacles. Again, I talked to you. You've planted seeds. They're ready for harvest. Well, here you go. Two of Cups underneath that. You've planted the seeds towards whatever this is, whatever you're trying to unify. I'm going to use me as the example with plants. Like, I can make a garden. That's not an issue. Me and houseplants, it's just bad news. We make jokes about it all the time. But anywho, moral of the story there is, if you take a plant home and you don't water it and you don't nurture it, what happens to it? It dies. If you start a relationship, you don't nurture it, it dies. You start a new job, you don't work towards it, you don't nurture it, it dies. You're going to get fired, right? Anything that you invest, any type of energy and action and inspiration into, if you do not nurture that creative endeavor, that love, that excitement, it fizzles out every time. So whatever this is that has presented itself to you, and Spirit's calling it recently. It's recently. This may be a new thing. You may have a new person in your life, a new situation, a new job in your life. You're going to have to put the work in, even when your logical mind can't fully make sense of what's happening. You've got to invest. You've got to invest in it the way you started off investing into it. It's not going to do it all on its own. It's not just going to go, oh, well, here we are. And there's the, I just seen it. Where was it? You've got to work together. For some of you, you may feel like you don't have a whole lot to offer. It's almost like, well, what can I give you that you don't already have? It's not about the material world. And there's that King of Pentacles that we opened up with. You already are the King of Pentacles. That King of Pentacles has more than just money. He has more than just materialism. He has mastered the craft of the Pentacles. He's also stable. He's also grounded. He's also well-rounded. You have more than you realize you have to give to a situation, but you're playing very small. You're not wanting to be seen. And that's about, bingo, there we go, the self. I talked about that layer of the onion, that center. That's the self. The grove is to work on the self. The self-love, the self-worth is to self-love, to hold yourself up. Some of you guys just may be lacking confidence right now for some reason. And if you are, you need to work on the solar plexus energy. That's where our confidence, our ego, our will lives. It's time to work on that shit. So what, you don't think you're good enough? You don't think you have enough? And if that person or situation doesn't think you're enough, then let him go. But there is something here that's offering you opportunity and growth. You're just not seeing it that way. You're not stepping into it to let it, you know, you've always got seeds. You've always got potential. There's always potential with those aces. There's always potential there. But it's what you do with the potential of what could be. If you don't work with it, it becomes nothing. It's about free will. And what I will say this, Leo, to you is I would like to do, if I can get through all of March's, I'd like to do another one next week, because most of the energy in this was minors. Minor arcanas are just like the right now. Free will is at play. You can play with that. Like I said, from this morning to this afternoon, the communication lines of how this came in was very different just in one day. So those major arcanas, though, are fated and destined events. There wasn't a whole lot of those on the table. So that tells me you've got the ability to shift how you're doing this. Right now, you're just caught up in mental thought. So you get to decide what you want to do with it. I say roll with it. But get the hell out of your head. Pay attention to how you're feeling. Like, how does it feel? Does it make you feel good? Does it make you feel interested? Does it light you up? You know, if this is a job, you walk into work, do you like your job? Because if you do, then you have to invest. If this is a person, a relationship, a situationship, whatever the hell you want to call it, you walk into it. Do you feel good around that person? Do they light you up? Do they make you smile? Do you laugh? Do you giggle? You know, do you enjoy each other's company? Why aren't you investing into it if it makes you feel good? As long as it's not codependency. Pay attention, right? But if these things around you make you feel good, you've got to nourish it, or it's not going to go anywhere. And so what? You have the past as an example. You know what not to do now. Take a different approach. It'll be fine. Advice. Advice for Leo. That's the one thing I didn't do. Advice. I mean, I feel like I just gave you advice. I feel like that was just all spirit going. Here's, as I call it, my spiritual vomit. Lovely. I know, right? There's that sick, demented Scorpio there. Great big love beyond the ordinary. These two cards, those two right there, were out this morning. No lie, that's what came out. And I'm telling you, this is trying to open you up. This is trying to make you see beyond where you've been before. This is not something that you've dealt with in the past. I really do not think, for the majority of you, this is not something you've ever encountered in this way. And for those of you that may have, you might have played with something like that, but it's still a very different energy. Body and soul. Body and soul 5, a change. Spirit for Leo, advice for Leo for March, please. I'm almost positive this was for the reading that I did for you guys earlier that didn't get put out. I don't think it was Libras, but I could be wrong. But anyhow, the land between. You're both working on this self. You have to cross those bridges. You have to cross those bridges to get to that unification where you come together on one land, right? You got to work through your trauma. You got to work through your bullshit. You got to brave. I mean, you look at this. There is nothing below there. I don't know about you guys. I'm scared to death of heights. Like 4'11", I'm scared to death of heights. You've got to work through the fear of getting across those hurdles. That bridge is the hurdle on both sides to get to this beautiful place. Your soul is calling for you. Your body is calling for you to step into this. You've got to make the change so you can reach your happiness, right? So you can come together. So what? You've had different paths, but you've both experienced pain at some point. One more card for the Spirit. The Royal You. See yourself in a beautiful light. The Rose's Kiss. The Oracle's Gift. Come on, guys. Look at that. The Royal You. Having that self-worth. Where was it? This deck over here. I already shuffled them. To have faith in who you are. Understanding the beauty that lies within you. The beauty that's lying within this situation. It's bursting. It wants to burst open. It's there. It's gold. It's royal. It's beautiful. It's loyal. I feel like whatever this is, you have been calling it in for so long. Do not turn a blind eye to it. Drop the defenses. you know, protect your boundaries, obviously, right? Use your discernment. Like, don't be stupid either, and just let anybody in. But in the same breath, if you constantly have a wall up to another person, how could they ever have a chance? Or even your jobs. Like, if you don't think that you're worthy of job, you know, you don't think you're worthy of being the CEO of Google, then you're never going to be worthy of being the CEO of Google, because you don't believe in yourself. This is about believing and getting to another place, to a higher elevation, to leveling up. Because there's beauty beyond where you're at right now, but you have to make that conscious choice to get there. It's all about choice for you guys right now. You've prayed for this. But it's not, listen, if you think that this is going to be like a cakewalk, that there's not going to be any bumps and hurdles along the way, you're totally wrong. Absolutely wrong. There's nothing that we come through. I don't care if people have been married for 50, 60 years, whatever. If this is love, 50, 60 years, right? They go through days where, you know, I might sleep on the couch and don't you dare come to the bedroom because I don't like you tonight. You know, and if this is a job, you've been there for 30 plus years. Maybe you had that shithead boss for 5 years and you couldn't stand him, but you had to work through it. You had to find a way to work through it. It's going to be about your dedication and loyalty to what it is that you're investing yourself into. Choice is yours at the end of the day. Right, Leo? Choice is yours. You get to decide what you're investing in. Make sure it's worth your while, and make sure that you're not passing up golden opportunities either in the process. So, now that y'all got that. All right, Leo. So, if you found this oh my God, TV. If this video resonated for you all, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't done so. It's one of the greatest ways you can support the channel, and it's so greatly appreciated. And if you are interested in a one-on-one, description box below, about section of the page, you guys know the drill. But I hope that you guys are doing well and fantastic. Work on this. I'm really excited to maybe do another reading for you guys soon. I just want to see how the energy shifts. So, free will, right? Make good choices. Always make good choices. All right, I'll see you guys soon. Take care. Sending my love. Bye-bye.